Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web. I'm sorry it's been a few days since I did the first video for these. Just not be feeling too good, and had a few things going on which took my attention more than this, so let's get cracking then, shall we, and get these highlighted and finished off. So, where are we going to go first? Well, I think first off we're going to add another colour into our palette, and this time we're going to be using bulk gunmetal. It's one of the old colours, I can't remember what colour it is now, but we'll just do a bit of a dry brush over the metallic parts of this. I've changed my mind from the copper colour. That I was originally going to use. I think I might save that for different orcs, but we'll see how we go. So we're just dry brushing over and I did make mention in my previous video when I did the base colouring for this that I put on the site for the War Games Club that I'd got the starter edition of Dungeons and Dragons, the red box, and that somebody replied saying that it was the best version. Well, they misunderstood which version I'd got. They thought it was the basic edition, the red box, which was the same cover, same actual box as the one I'd got. So when I found out they'd made a mistake, I thought, well, if that one's so good, see how much it is. Well, I had a look on eBay, and I found one on an auction. It was less than £10, so I thought, yeah, let's have a bash. So I put a bid on it. I should get it next week because I won it. So I do have, well, not necessarily in my possession, but I now have two red box editions of D&D. What the basic one is, I've not a clue as yet, but if it is as good as I was told and I enjoy playing the games, then yeehaw. Just can't wait to get started with them, to be honest. As I said, I know nothing about them, so it's going to come as a challenge for me. So that was all the metal parts of the Orc Archers done in the bulk gunmetal. I was trying to get my arms in a comfortable position. So now what we need to do is using Screaming Skull for the moment, we need to highlight or pick out the teeth of the orcs, and we don't want to go all the way down to the gum or the lip. Rather, we just want to put a little mark there to show where the, I suppose you could almost call them tusks, the way they're looking. But we'll and there don't seem to appear to be teeth part way through it. It looks like creases in the skin. So I'll add those. Now what we need to do is, using my slightly larger brush, if I can see it, oh there it is, we used Ball Brown as the base coat, so we're still going to be using that one, and we get a little bit on our palette, and a spot more of the Screaming Skull, and there is our, mix it together rather, and there is our highlight colour for the skin. So what needs doing? Well, obviously the raised areas. So we have a heavy brow on these orcs, so let's do that first. I think I'm going to change to the slightly smaller brush, to be honest. I thought I'd be able to get away with doing it with that one, but no. So we're going to go back to our is it a detail brush or a standard brush? Standard. So I'll go back to this one, and we add the off camera slightly. And any raised areas as per usual. Any detail, I go over the lips, especially under the tusk, to show that they're coming out from the mouth rather than just stuck on above the lip. And we also want to pick out the musculature in the arms, but also keep some in shadow, remember. There are some pieces of, or some of the musculature there that should be kept in shadow, should be kept dark, so keep it dark. Use a little bit of common sense as to which it is. If it's going to be underneath, if it looks as though it's going to be hidden by a bit of armour, then don't highlight it, leave it as is. There we are. I think that's going to be hidden, but just pop a little bit there just to break up the darkness of the skin. Let's just pick out a couple of fingers. And here again, let's distinguish the fingers. There we are. He looks a little different now, doesn't he? Not really that you can tell much difference at them, judging from them. That one just looks slightly darker, but not for much longer. And bear in mind you can highlight and highlight and highlight and keep adding and adding and adding. You know, you don't have to stop just because I have here. In fact, I may yet go back and do some more highlighting. It goes as usual with this. You can go as far, you can do as much or as little as you want. You can go as far with the paintwork as you feel comfortable. You don't have to highlight every single area. And sometimes less is more. I mean, I don't like doing a lot of highlighting on orcs because I think they're supposed to have quite, I would see them as having really dirty skin, not the kind that looks as though it's been exfoliated and had cleansing scrubs and they use face packs and whatever. I think they just don't bother washing for years on end. So I don't really go as far as to say they need an incredible amount of highlighting, because I would say that the skin should look as though it's dirty rather than look as though it's nice and clean. I mean, I suppose you could say that for the hero figures as well, because depending on whether they've been on sort of like a quest or whatever, you know, you'd expect them to be covered in dirt and grime if they've been battling and through the wars. But I said, you do want the highlight to show like a 3D image. You don't want to make it look flat and dull. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is that little bit of that colour that we've got left, I'm going to use to lighten up the rhinox hide that we used on the boots. Because that is the colour, if I can actually get some brush, that'll be the colour that we'll use to highlight the boots. You don't have to mix anything special for these. You can rehash colours that you've already used, especially if it's pale colours. You can always use them to highlight darker colours. There we go. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over with the detail brush with the rhinox hide, because I filmed in a few bits there that I didn't really want to, but not to worry, we don't make mistakes, we have happy accidents. Okay, that's one done, and now for number two. And he looks alright, number two. we go. I thought it would rain then outside. I was thankfully mistaken. Okay, next. What I did forget to do the other day when I was doing these is her. That's not that I forgot to do it, I just didn't do it. So I'm going to use the round side on the her. And I've just, oops, sorry, off camera again. There we go. Let's just move the round side over here so I'm not cutting across camera to get at it. Mind you, if I did that you may be able to see something because I keep going off camera again. Okay, there we are. I have the feeling that could be an ear. So that's Rhinox hide done. Oh, I've missed his chin. I've noticed I've missed his chin. I missed his chin, I didn't see the ears, so I need to go back and just do a couple more pieces. Nothing major, nothing that's going to affect anything. I always find, as you may have noticed if you've watched other of my videos, that I miss things. I don't see them as I'm painting them. You may find, if you've never painted a model before and you start doing it, you start painting it rather, then that you do the same thing. I think everybody does it at some point. It's never a problem. You can always go back and touch up. If you do the slightly wrong colour, doesn't matter. But what I need is the Ballow Brown again. And I'm just going to use this neat on the ears. It's just the tip of an ear. I think I may have to go over with Agrax Earthshade on that. It doesn't look quite right. I can't see an ear on that side. Oops. And here there is an ear to do. Here there's an ear. And an entire chin leading down to the throat that I've not done, which again, not a problem. I've not done the throat on that one either. Oh, that's fine. Okay, next step. This is where we do our mixing stuff again with the Screaming Skull, and for this we're going to be using our old friend Dark Flesh and Screaming Skull. Little spot of that, make it just that touch lighter. And we'll we're not going to go overboard here. but we are here because this is going to be in the light. It's going to be, I've gone off camera again, sorry. So what I've done is just on little areas, small areas here, just to show that it is all the same colour, but not to any great deal of detail, or great deal of brightness rather. There we go. So that's that highlighted. And oops, what I can do as well now is, to that mix there we can add some Rhine oxide. Just to make it slightly lighter. Dumpty dumpty dum. And just go over for her. There we are. We can do the same on both. It's no big deal. So I tend to think of orcs, proper fantasy orcs rather, not the 40k ones or the Warhammer ones. I tend to see them as having like really dark brown black hair anyway, so I'm just going to dirty up the face a little bit more. There we go. Now this time I'm not going to be using Screaming Skull and the Xerius Purple, because we have a lighter colour purple, which is, I believe, Genestealer Purple, yes. And we're going to use that to highlight the purple on your Monheer's shorts, a skirt, whatever it may be. So let's get your paint on your brush, scrape it off, and then just waft it over. Just let it settle on the highlighted areas, let the model take off the paint it wants. And when you're happy with it, stop. There we are. So that's most of it done. There's not much to do now with it, except for the bow, the quiver, and the flights on for the arrows. But what I'm going to do first of all is, I think that looks a little dark, so what I'm going to do is just get a little bit of the Screaming Skull and just gently go over it. You're not covering everything, you just want to brighten it up a touch, that's all. Make it look as though it's something a little different. And we'll do the same on this one as well. These are the straps that are holding the shoulder armour and the quiver do need to add a touch more on there. There we go. Okay, so what colour do we do the flights? I think, just because I like the colour, what I'm going to use is, first of all, dark flesh. Now this is for the flights of the, in fact no, not the flights, we'll use this for the quiver. And we just go down from top to bottom. Or from bottom to top, whichever gets you, whichever you find more comfortable. Oops, I've gone over the flights of the thingy on that, and I didn't want to. I think I'm going to leave them black. So we'll do that. So we get the quiver all painted up, and I'll show you the paint that I was going to use on this, but I thought no, I'll use that as a highlight. And this one I usually use for lips. If you remember some of the other videos I've done, I've started using it for lips, this particular colour I'm thinking of. And the colour I'm going to be using to highlight that one when I've finished my brush cleaning is tanned flesh. Yeah. But I need to highlight the black arrow. First of all, I want to just paint and enhance the blackness of the arrow, because I've gone over it in different parts. So I just want to tidy it up a bit, and so with the Abaddon black, we just cover over the flights of the arrows, nothing more. I don't want to get carried away. There we go. It's nothing. If I went off camera then, it's nothing special. All I've done is just tart up. If I've gone over this part anywhere, then all I've done is just go over it again with black, just to tart it up. And now I'm going to use one of my favourite colours for doing bows and spears, and that is, right, I know with these ones for Wrath of a Shadowrun, I left the bows black. I was toying with the idea of doing that again, but you know, these are quite chunky bows, so I've decided MacLeod red is coming into play, and all I do for this is I just paint them red. I don't highlight them or anything. I just leave them a dull I don't go to any great lengths of painting. It's as though I'm just highlighting it with red. That's all I do. Slap the paint on. If some of the black comes through, fine. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. It makes no difference. No difference. I mean, I suppose I could paint this MacLeod red on properly and then highlight it again, but I think the colour, with it being like a dirty red, dirty dull red, seems to fit. Don't you? I think I may have gone off camera again there, and I do apologise again for that. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the arrows, and for that it's just a little bit of the Abaddon black, a little bit of the Fang. We're just making it a slightly lighter black. Really dark grey is what we're looking for. Quite a bluey grey. So we're not looking for any wondrous change of colour. We're just looking for something that's just to take the edge off the black. There we are. And there we are. And the final piece of the puzzle, as they say, is the highlighting of the quiver, which I say will be done in tanned flesh. Yeah, I couldn't remember it then. Let's get a small amount on your brush and just go across. And again, let the areas of the model take charge of where the paint is going to go. Don't try and force it. If you try and force it, you may get it. You probably, I'm not saying may, you will probably get it in the wrong place if you try and force where you're going to put it. If you just let the model take off, for where it wants to be. There we go. I'm glad it's heard something outside, I don't know what. Oops. I nearly decided not to follow my own advice then and put it where I wanted it to go. I'm like that. Do as I say, children, not as I do. There you go, and there's the Orc Archer done. Well, you can, if you want, add little bits and pieces to it. Tell you what, just before the camera runs out, let's get the Hashrut copper out. Give it a shake. And these lumps on his shoulder armour here, Laddie's doing his usual trick of waiting until I'm doing something fiddly and then deciding he wants to get on the couch with me. Yeah. He's gone now because I slightly raised my voice. I put my angry voice on and he left. Anybody who knows me knows that's not my angry voice. There we go. I think we can just go along these raised areas on the gloves as well. I'm not going to do this one because I'm running short of battery power. I've not had the camera on charge and it's not plugged in at the moment, so there we go. Do that. I'll just show you with this one and then I'll stop the camera and I can finish the other one off. There you are. And there's our Orc Archer, all ready for battle. Now, I'm not sure whether or not any you've actually heard of I'm going to have to leave it there. I was going to say something, but I'm going to have to leave it because the battery's running out. So until next time, take care, God bless, and bye for now.